Hello, my name is Robert-Lomax. As you may know, souls are expansive, with expressions in different life forms and different dimensions. They are able to interface with us and provide us with valuable insights, particularly at this crucial point of change. Previously, Arcturian or Larka spoke about the upgrades to our emotional bodies that start to flow from the 26th of July. I've used my artistic skills to sketch her in the past, but somehow I never quite captured her essence. So I've used AI as best I can to show her yellow pupils and petite features. I hope it helps you connect with her spirit of benevolence. Today, Andromedan Antemedi wants to follow that up by talking about increasing our communication abilities, how we can communicate with interdimensional beings and release of programs that inhibit us, understanding our differences of perceptions as we begin to come to terms with these increasing possibilities. Hello, my name is Antemedi. I'm a multi-dimensional part of Robert's soul. I'm talking to you from an Andromedan biosphere. As a lecturer on humanoid communication, one of the subjects that I would like to expand upon is the way in which information can be transferred. This talk is about multi-dimensional communication. I could say that it's important for us to understand each other's perspective. However, in using your language, I've already corrupted my desired intent. I used your word importance, and unfortunately it has value attached to it. In looking at communication, we need to consider carefully the language used. Some languages are limited, others more expansive. Eskimos have 50 to 70 words for snow. Whilst you and I have different perspectives on the universe, you primarily think in your language, but we less so in ours. Take a moment for that to settle in. You think in English, Spanish, German, French, Chinese, and all manner of languages. Some of you might be listening in English, trying to convert words into your own tongue. All your thoughts, thinking, and processing are primarily based in language. You are your language and its reflection. One of the problems with that is all your languages are built from within the perception of self and how things relate to self. Thus, you create an identity filter and perceive the universe through that. You superimpose this perspective of the sense of self upon what you see, what you hear, even from the likes of me. Your language does not mirror the aspects of your soul that are non-self, multidimensional, or that function as a processor. Furthermore, your communication reflects the society you create, the way you interact and view each other. In mine, for example, I am an individual, but we have a sense of community self, which doesn't denigrate personal identity. To the contrary, it enhances us, because self is not involved in a struggle to maintain its ego identity. Nor do we seek pleasure, or alternatively the escape from pain. That may seem very alien to you. but for us it is wonderful. We live within the love of one another. We have states of bliss and just is. No fear. Our language reflects our culture and how we are an intrinsic part of each other. Separation between us doesn't exist in the same way as it does for you. I'm trying to convert my language into yours for your comprehension, and often that doesn't compute. Whilst it helps that I'm a part of Robert, his earthbound programming inhibits the fullness of my communication. Your language is inextricably intermeshed with your need to avoid discomfort or to be satisfied, all within a sense of duality. I hope you can begin to see there are problems you need to be aware of when communicating with other benevolent humanoids. You might like to think that non-verbal information isn't subject to the same constraints. Your third eyes are becoming more active and providing you with visions, feelings, and sensations. Yet, whilst these are not spoken, what you receive, you think about in your language. You are reforming what you have perceived. Of course, you might have great meditations or communications with your higher light bodies and other entities. And of course, intergalactic beings, some of whom are your multidimensional selves. These interactions may be uplifting, leaving you with a sense of deep love and interconnection. As forms of communication, these affect your wider sense of self. But it is your soul communicating with you. Communication also takes place through your body and feelings. It sits alongside your ability to receive emotional and apparently hidden information. Some empaths have this as an acute sense of perception. But as soon as you start to think about it, you convert it to your language. In many ways, that works well because you're using the data to live within the Earth program. That's where you are, and that's the nature of your current experience, till it is not. Knowing and just is. This is information that presents itself. Somehow you either know something you didn't know before, or you can see a deeper meaning. Perhaps you will see the manipulation of your minds that was obscured before. At a higher vibration, you are providing insights to your Earth self that you couldn't hear before. You are now experiencing what you created upon those dimensional levels. When you encounter the knowing, it feels full and rounded and just is. It lacks judgment and duality, unless, of course, it's an insight into them. Somehow this knowing, this communication, is beyond trust. It just is. If you reflect on this, you may remember the moments you've already experienced the knowing. A package of information pertinent to your needs in that particular moment. Communication is also an experience, one that can take place anytime, like now. You don't have to be ready just to know it's possible. try this small exercise. Take a deep breath. Fill yourself with light. Allow and hold that feeling. Just to know things without knowing why you know them. Sense your connection to the information of the universal you. Begin to accept the peace of that wonderful connection and the planned process of communication that exceeds serendipity. So as we sense these breaths, pull light in through your crown, just feel that you know. Maybe you don't know what you know, but you know, and it's there. So that's getting in touch with that feeling. Permit the thought. There are benevolents who interconnect and commune by transferring of knowing. In this way, you will begin to feel how they communicate without the filters I previously described. Imagine what your life would be like when you receive information without fear or distortion. You can create this stillness as a connection to the wider soul at any time you wish. Just take the breaths of light and stay in the stillness. As the energies change around you, you will find this easier to undertake. In the last video from Olaka, she spoke about the upcoming changes to your emotional bodies. She said these changes would enable you to receive information that was not constrained by your current collective consciousness. This collective consciousness which gives you instructions on how to think. Manipulated thought programs, thinking intermeshed with your languages, all a part of a mental jail and a way of restricting your possibilities. But as you integrate these upgrades over the next few weeks, you will have a much clearer contact with your oversoul. I refrain from using the other word, higher self, because of its connection to personal ego, identity, and belonging. Oversoul encompasses those expressions, but at the same time it exceeds them. Oversoul is helping you to have clearer contact with your fellow humans, your multidimensional expressions, and other galactic beings like myself. Some of you may think I have given too much weight to language difficulties and your duality drivers, that perhaps I should just focus on light and love. Well, there are glimmers of truth in that, for you are best not to give your energy to the negative control. And whilst it's very true that where the focus goes, the energy flows, this communication with you is endeavouring to give deeper insight into different ways of processing information. To appreciate that there will be changes to your understandings. And these upgrades will help you interpret your world in a different way. What you see and interpret is an incredibly small section of the universe. You play with the vibrations on a piano without knowledge of different keys that extend further in each direction. The awareness of your perceptions will expand enormously as you see these additional vibrational keys Excuse me. Your world is a hologram of vibrations and information. Is your world any more real because your body inhabits it? No. That's just your current belief, because your beliefs become your reality. As you begin to gain confidence in your perceptions, what else will you see? Don't dismiss feelings or fleeting sights of some other worlds or people or beings. As you progress, you will begin to see the information, probably the best way to describe that, of other galactic beings, because everything is information. Communication is here and now. It is increasing. Do not restrict your minds and say, that's not possible. That is a control program meant to imprison you. All souls and minds can interconnect in different dimensions. Here I am, talking through Robert. His eyes can see the room I am in. On one side, its entrance is level with the ground, yet openings on the other side show how we rise above other chambers. A central core has parklands, seas and other landscapes, one on top of the other. Our worlds are also multidimensional. Time-space doesn't exist in the way that you believe it does. We can move from one holographic presentation to another. Your nearest comprehension of that would be a holodeck on the TV Star Trek program. In part, what we experienced is based upon our personal needs, but mostly, at other times, it's a fusion with our fellow kind. These become composite creations or dimensional holograms. You might consider these to be a primary constructor program, like the biosphere itself, around which all these other interphases of dimensions and experiences exist. In a very loose way, this ties in with your theorists who talk about parallel realities in the moment of now. All of this seems mind-boggling to you because you'd struggle to comprehend what was the right or correct reality for you to exist in. This way of living isn't a fifth-dimensional reality, and it probably serves little purpose, you trying to comprehend it from your fixed parameters. However, what I'm trying to show you is how our minds have been limited, how your minds have been limited by the regressive programming, and that now you're able to understand and vibrate to different information being received. Some of you will begin to interpret your world with an ability to comprehend, other ones in the same place. Vibrational compatibility will enable you to see other intergalactic beings around you, to communicate with them as they are. Initially, they may appear as shadows or energies. Other vibrational realms are just as real as what you believe yours is. Communication is now, and it is live. We have already said that during sleep you go to other dimensional realities and interact with other light beings. Upon those realms you create what will be your daily life? How you create that, and within what parameters, would be a fascinating talk by itself. But it's suffice to say, think of yourself as an interdimensional creator, and your current life is the experience of what you have already created. Following on from this theme of multidimensional communication, my focus is in Robert at this laptop computer recording. The Robert database feels my presence, and I feel the Robert program. Yet I am where I am, but I'm also here. Think of yourself in the same way I say, I am soul. The rest is all description, language, and experience. So, dimensions, layers upon layers that are separate, but they can mix and experience each other from their own unique perspective. Let me help to contextualize these multidimensional communications. You may wonder what level of soul I am, from which part, how high a vibration. Like you, I am all and none, for I am soul. I do not distinguish or use language in that way. A higher vibration of soul has no more importance than another. If I were the highest vibration of soul, what would that mean? Nothing. No importance at all, because that's a value system. This is communication between all parts of the soul, with nothing in the way. To think otherwise would be to think through egotism, measurement of how low or high, deserved or not deserving. Like you, I am just is. This is soul knowledge, but only to the extent that you're able to hear, and I'm able to explain within the constrained Robert program. As Antemedi, I have supplied this communication with a multidimensional context. There's no threat to yourself or what that means. Indeed, you can hang on to all that was before if you wish. But I am here, nonetheless. I am saying what I am saying. I have spoken about communication, constraints in language, and corrupted human programs, but also about how communication is growing, particularly awareness and acceptance of wider and more diverse information. All of this adding to your comprehension of what you are and what is possible for you. You may communicate with my awareness if you wish. Do not think that's not possible, for that is to constrain what is potential. The nature of the universe is that all is possible, though not all comes into experience. Communication is contact. Contact is here and now. As the upcoming vibrations change within you, be aware of the worlds that are opening up around you. Yes, there will be physical contact in a year or so, but that will only be a culmination of what we're doing now. You are communicating on many levels. I cannot tell you what you should do, but let me say, I'm excited by the prospect that more of you are open to the multidimensional communication. You will each experience that in the ways that suit you best. So, I will sign off like Orlaka. I will not give or talk of my love for you. That is a shadow of your language, and we've already talked about your language, based in self. There is no deference or difference between us. Let our hearts sing as one. Feel the depth. We are soul. We are justice. Thank you for listening.